Hey guys, Dr. Epic here. Welcome back to Racism HQ. This is a channel where we evaluate each Citadel race in Mass Effect to find out which of these are the coolest races, as well as speculating on what each race will get up to in the next Mass Effect game. Let's not dilly-dally. Thank you for clicking, let's get to it. Next up in the Racism series are the humans. I hate these guys, man. Like, who do they think they are? Coming out of nowhere, provoking the shit out of those poor Turians, upsetting the balance of power just to serve their own gains, single-handedly causing the Batarians to remove their Citadel embassy, and regressing to a Stalinist society behind a galactic Iron Curtain. And what do these humans contribute to the galaxy? The elusive man, who has to be the direct descendant of a certain Austrian painter with how space racist and genocidal he is. Now, to be fair, making sci-fi humans is a challenge, because you want them to be relatable, but you also kind of want them to be sci-fi enough so that your mind isn't too stuck in modern politics, history, and real life, stuff like that. At least in my opinion, that's what I kind of look for human races in sci-fi. At least for a game like Mass Effect, where the appeal is kind of giving you a different, better world than the one we're in. I think BioWare actually did a good job on the humans. They're naturally a bit boring, of course, compared to all the other more exotic alien races, because they're, literally aliens. But human lore is still kind of cool in Mass Effect. I'm then referring mostly to the First Contact War, Batarian conflicts, the human ascendancy into the Council and Spectres, as well as the notorious human organization Cerberus, and of course the Alliance's and Shepard's role in preserving or sacrificing the Council of old. Humanity plays a huge part in Mass Effect. For example, all protagonists, i.e. Shepard and the Riders, are human. The Elusive Man and Cerberus are kind of human supremacists, along with a lot of important characters like Anderson and Udina, also famous humans. The Collectors and the Reapers, they're really interested in creating this human Reaper. The final battle of the OG trilogy takes place on the human homeworld, Earth, as it's known.
Planet Earth.
This is all well and dandy, but what about humanity's place in the next Mass Effect? This kind of depends, obviously, on which ending is the canon choice for the next story. Mass Effect 3, as we all know, has roughly 4 different endings: the Refusal ending, Control, Synthesis, and Destroy ending, otherwise sometimes referred to as the Troll ending, Blue, Green, and Red endings. In the Refusal ending, the Reapers are either most likely still alive in dark space or dead altogether, and possibly with a brand new cycle and generation of Milky Way races that's dominating the galaxy. In order to have survived so far into the future, the humans will have to learn how to freeze themselves into stasis for a long time period, longer most likely than the time it took for them to get to Andromeda with the Arcs. And the Protheans struggled and failed to freeze themselves into the future several times, like on Eden Prime and Ilos. And this leaves me to find it unlikely that the humans alone, or even with the help from other intelligent and sophisticated species like Salarians or Asari, could manage such a feat. Human technology is fairly advanced, however, especially if you look at service technology, which is based on a lot of research and reverse engineering of Reaper and Collector technology. Judging from one of the teaser trailers for the next game, it seems that perhaps Cerberus or Cerberus technology or some completely different faction that seems to be human, if you ask me, given Liaro's talk about human defiance. And it seems like these guys, most like humans, are constructing a mass relay looking thing. This hints towards human technology having grown even more advanced in the future. This is of course a large chunk of speculation, however, as we don't really even know if the construct from the trailer is supposed to be a mass relay at all, or who built it. But I believe it is a largely human design. With humanity possessing such advanced technology, that could mean that some humans managed to freeze themselves successfully into the future, something the Protheans never managed on a large scale. If this really is a mass relay, it brings into the question that it's likely we will see a meetup of Andromeda and Milky Way humans. They would perhaps combine forces, possibly alongside other alien races, to fight the next big bad, be that Cat, evil Reapers, or evil new races. If the time skip is really large, like 40,000 years, then I don't think a mass relay is even necessary for the Andromedan reinforcements to reach the Milky Way. They could just, fly there. I think regardless of the endings of Mass Effect 3, and just going off the trailers and teasers, that the Milky Way and Andromeda Galaxy and their stories will be joined in some kind of way for the next game. If there is to be any conflict after choosing the Control or Synthesis ending, I imagine it would play out fairly similar to how it would play out in the Refusal universe. I'm then referring to the story possibly being a kind of rebellion type story against the Reapers themselves, either because the Shepard Control AI has gone evil or some other reason, or perhaps there's just some other faction that's aligned with all or some of the Reapers that remain. I would then imagine the humans playing a similar role in those endings as for in the Control and Synthesis ending, like they did in the Refusal ending universe. Perhaps the human protagonist will manage to talk down the Shepard Control ending AI, forcing the AI to remember the human experience or something, and how Shepard wouldn't have wanted all this menace and destruction or something like that. The Destroy ending universe would, in my eyes, largely be a return to a classic Mass Effect setting, with all the different races vying for control and influence. In such a scenario, humanity, despite being absolutely shreked by the Reapers in the Reaper War, seemed to actually have been dealt a fairly good hand compared to the other races. Let me explain. Humanity has traditionally possessed a very capable and strong navy and military capacity. They're in general very skilled at war.
Humans are no strangers to war. After all, we've been fighting for as long as we can remember. War is all we know.
The humans as well have very decent technology, especially if you're counting in Cerberus feats, though I think human technology in general is not as advanced as Asari or Solarian technology, for instance. The humans, according to the Wikipedia, number in a notable size. As far as we know, humanity still possesses all of these traits of being a notable size and having good tech and good military power, though it's likely diminished considerably, but that's the same for every other race essentially, so it kinda cancels out. All of this makes the humans have good potential for seizing more power on the galactic scene, as they were already expanding rapidly before the Reaper War. With the balance of power being shifted so dramatically, even though Earth and a lot of Alliance colonies are devastated beyond belief, I reckon the humans will expand rapidly again, finding their footing, potentially even becoming the next dominant force in the galaxy, or as strong or stronger as the Turians used to be. In summation, I did find the humans interesting enough, but they're not super interesting either, like the other exciting, exotic, literally alien species. The human lore is good, and they have a good impact on the story. It's across the board, it's just good. Humanity never had much of an X factor to me though, but they do have a lot of potential for Mass Effect 4, which gives them some points. So in conclusion, if I bring all my feelings and thoughts together, I'd have to give the humans a comfortable Miranda tier. But that's just my take. I don't know what you guys think. Should they be higher or lower on the list perhaps? What do you think the next step for humanity in Mass Effect 4 is? If you want to let me know, let me know. If not, this is just Dr. Epic signing out. Seeing you guys in the next video perhaps. Like the video if it's cool, dislike it if it's cringe. And remember, humanize that sub button. Alright, bye bye.